Hey guys, welcome to Peripheral Vision, and today we're taking a look at the NES Advantage for the original Nintendo. Released in 1987, the Advantage is one of the most iconic controllers out there, and for good reason. Not only did it popularize the idea of having an arcade-like experience on a home console, this is just a generally well-designed controller with a lot of useful features. So what are the advantages of having an Advantage? Well, to begin with, this is a really sturdy piece of equipment. If you look at the bottom, you'll notice that the base is actually made of metal, and you've got 4 rubber stoppers here to keep it from sliding around. The one that I had actually comes with some stickers from the previous owner. You can see Mega Man and Link fighting here, obviously over who has the sillier voice actor, and Spider-Man's like, screw this, I'm out. Flip it back around, and you will see a bunch of buttons, switches, and dials. Firstly, you've got the actual joystick, which, while it's not as high-end as some of the newer joysticks, it does its job well and is responsive, so I've got no complaints. Then there's the 4 oversized main buttons: Start, Select, A, and B. And you notice that these actually have a really satisfying click to them. Then there's the Turbo feature. By depressing these buttons, you can enable a rapid-fire feature for your A and B, just by holding them down. You can control the rate of this fire by adjusting the dial up here. The slow button works in roughly the same way. By depressing it, the controller will automatically pause the game rapidly, and in some games this can simulate a sort of slow motion effect. While this works okay in a lot of early Nintendo titles, anything with a pause screen becomes pretty much unplayable with it enabled. Finally, we've got the player toggle. This allows 2 players to both use the controller at once. You'll notice at the end of the cord that there are 2 connectors for the NES. And that's because if you were playing a 2-player game, you could have, when the second player's turn came up, all you'd have to do is switch the switch over to 2. Well, hypothetically, these features could all be put into any type of controller. Where I think this one shines is that it does, in a limited way, bring the arcade's experience home. I love playing the arcade series Nintendo games with this controller. Games like Popeye and Donkey Kong, they all become a lot more satisfying when you've got one of these in your hands. So if you're a Nintendo collector or just love old games in general and don't have one, I'd say track it down. Just remember, it's Spider-Man approved.